Sarah Keith Lucas is here and everybody's sniffling, red-eyed and affected by pollen.
Yeah, that's right. If you're a hay fever sufferer, you will have noticed, I think, recently, over the past few weeks in particular, that pollen levels have been really high, particularly this year, all down to our yo-yoing weather. So what happens on a normal year? We get different types of pollen during different months. So from about late March to mid-May, it's tree pollen that dominates. And then a little bit later in the season, we get the grass pollen coming out. So that's what's really dominant at the moment, mid-May to around about July. After the grass pollen, then the weed pollen starts to dominate. So sometimes these seasons overlap. And what we've seen this year, we had a very cold start to spring. So cast your mind back to March, the beast from the east, all that snow, really cold weather. So some of the early flowering plants didn't flower. And then a little bit later on in April, some really, really warm weather. And that meant that everything just exploded all at once. So some of the early plants didn't really get going earlier in the season. They're all coming together now, and that's why we've got a condensed spring, it was known as.
What can we do about it?
Well, there are some things we can do to help relieve the impacts of all that pollen around. Keep the grass short in your garden. Certainly that helps to keep the pollen levels down.
It doesn't when you mow it, though.
It doesn't when you mow it. You have to get a friend to mow it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you are a hay fever sufferer. If you hang your clothes outside, they absorb all the pollen, and then you put them on and you take it all around with you as well. So don't hang your washing outside. Can keep your windows closed because not a lot of pollen gets into the house, but sounds a bit boring on a summer's day. And also check the BBC Weather app. So our app will tell you every day what the expected pollen levels are going to be.
And you can tell us what's expected over the next few days.
I can indeed, and I can tell you specifically about the pollen out there today because it is very high across parts of the country, particularly for central and southeastern parts of England. Elsewhere, not quite as high. We've got lower levels up towards the north of Scotland. Tomorrow's levels will be lower across the country, still pretty high just in the southeast, but moderate or low elsewhere. So a little bit less of a sneezy day, I think, tomorrow. But out there today, it's looking largely dry with some sunny spells across many parts of the country. This is seen in Gloucestershire at the moment. We have got more showers around towards the far northwest, but certainly lighter winds than we've had recently. And through the weekend, we'll keep with a showery theme on Saturday, a drier but a fairly cloudy day ahead on Sunday. Storm Hector, that brought us all those strong winds yesterday, is clearing off towards the north now. And although we've got another front approaching from the west, before it gets there, many of us looking at having a dry evening. Temperatures out there have reached around about 23 degrees in the southeast, the mid to the high teens further towards the northwest. Still some scattered showers for Scotland and Northern Ireland. They'll fade away through this evening, so it is looking like a dry evening. But overnight, the next area of rain arrives from the west. So this weather front brings rain into Northern Ireland, the far west of Scotland and western fringes of England and Wales during the early hours of Saturday morning. Eastern areas starting the day largely dry, and it will be in the east that we keep any sunshine the longest because this frontal system on Saturday works its way in from the west. It is going to be bringing some outbreaks of rain. Now, the heaviest rain on that front will be in the north, so Northern Ireland, Scotland, northwest England, parts of North Wales as well, seeing some heavy bursts. Could be some thunder and lightning mixed in. Further south, any rain fairly light and patchy across central and southern England and Wales. And down towards the southeast, it looks like we'll hold on to the drier weather here for longest. Our temperatures will reach around 18 or 19 degrees, but in general, it is going to be a cooler day than we've seen today. That front then eventually gets out of the way through Saturday evening, a drier spell overnight into Sunday. There's another front that just tries to move in from the west on Sunday, but it's a fairly weak, warm front. So it'll introduce a bit more cloud on Sunday from the west with just the odd spot of rain for Northern Ireland, down towards Wales as well. Central and eastern parts of the country more likely to hold on to the dry weather with some spells of sunshine breaking through too. So I think on balance, Sunday probably the better day of the weekend. Temperatures in the sunshine, 20 or 21 degrees into the mid to the high teens further west. Quick look ahead at next week for you, and it does look like there's a lot of dry weather. Things will be warming up. Just watch out for a little bit of rain at times in the northwest.